Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, discussions, and recaps of our favorite shows. This video, we are going to be talking about Ready to Love Season 5, Episode 8, Operation Meet the Homies. Yes, I know I am a few days late with this video. As I let you guys know in the last video, I was doing some traveling. I was on vacation, so I'm still playing catch up, but I got to do this one. Then we got to do the Lavern Huntsville from last Saturday. And then I'll be all caught up. And my plan is to be on time with this week's Ready to Love and Love and Marriage Huntsville, okay? So I'm trying to get back on track, y'all. We were working it out. Thank you guys for hanging in there. Please click that like button, click that share button, continue to comment. I love to read your comments and share. And please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. It's still Women's History Month. Why not support a Black woman? I support my other YouTubers just the same. All right, so let's get into this episode. So first off, the episode was good. Couple little twists and turns. Tina and Ace, that was interesting. I could see we're starting to see her pull back, and looks like she's not going to show up to the trip next week, or maybe she's going to be late. We'll see what happens with that. So the episode starts off with the men meeting all in the gentleman's lounge, okay? And Tommy was clowning P.O.'s shirt for being wrinkled. So Tori said, the table's getting smaller and smaller. P.O. said he's shocked that he's still in this process. So that means he must be doing something right. Let me tell you, P.O., I am shocked that you are still there too. Because remember, day one, we never saw it for Paul. But like I said in an earlier video, I do believe Paul is ready to love. He just has a very different approach. And you have to be willing to deal with his different kind of way and personality about him. But I think Paul is ready and open to love nonetheless. So anyway, Tommy says, in relationships, you gotta have a mutual respect for each other, and the women, they put themselves on the lines and they introduce you to their ex, so you gotta have the reciprocity, as he said. So he wants the fellas to introduce the ladies to their best friends, just to get a different perspective. The best friend, he knows all your tea, he knows what's good for you, what's not. He might have seen previous mistakes you might have made in past relationships, so he can really, your best friend, your homie, can speak to the situation. That's the point of the episode, right? So the episode starts out with Paul's date. He brings his friend Chill Bill, I believe. Chill Bill says that he knows Paul is POJ. Paul explains that he got the nickname POJ from being, I believe he said kindergarten or fifth grade. I want to say it was kindergarten. He was rapping and fooling around in class, and he was rhyming something with gigolo, and they thought gigolo was spelled with a J, so that's why they called him POJ from now on. I don't know why he still had that same nickname at 48, but that's fine, Paul, that's you. Okay, and Chill Bill, we need to know how you got your nickname too. But anyway, so on Paul's date, he did invite Carmen, Takia, and Tina. Tina declined to show up, and Paul really didn't know what was going on, and it was kind of suspect to him and everybody else. So anyway, Takia shows up first, and Takia says, she's still getting to know Paul, and his things about him she doesn't know, so she's hoping that this date can enlighten her. And one thing about Takia, y'all, I feel like, is it just me or she's kind of grasping for straws now that Eric is gone? Like, I feel like she's still trying to make a connection with somebody. I mean, she got her little connection with Clifton, and we're going to get to that, but I don't know. Something about it now feels like she's just trying to, instead of taking the Ace route of, I'm going to leave now, but I'm glad Takia's still open to love. I don't think she needs to leave like Ace did, but I don't know. But Takia and Paul could work, maybe. I could see that working, maybe. So Takia's there. She's getting to know Paul and Chill Bill and all that stuff, and saying how she wants someone she could bring to the work party and be at the cookout and let her hair down and all that kind of thing. So then Carmen walks up with the blue contacts in again, and Carmen said in her confessional she was looking shocked to see Takia. She's like, did you see my face? Takia clowned her in the confessionals for wearing them blue contacts. We mentioned how Clifton already clowned her on it, but she's still wearing them. And we do see that Takia and Carmen have this weird rivalry going on. I guess they have a lot of similarities. They're about the same age. They're both beautiful, successful women. So, but I feel like Carmen is the one who kind of starts it, and she's the one who seems kind of a little bit threatened by Takia. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. Let me know what y'all think. So anyway, then we see Carmen come up, like I said, that outfit she was wearing, that red Carmen Sandiego hat on, and then blue contacts and that jean jacket that didn't really match the jean pants, but that's just a thing I don't care for. But anyway, but Carmen got the body. I ain't gonna take that body away from her. So he was like, oh, Chill Bill said, how long have you known POJ? She's like, well, first of all, I don't call him POJ. I call him Paul, and you will know him as Paul from now on. And she's like, but I've only known him like 2 weeks. I'm like, girl, how you gonna claim what his name gonna be for you if you only know him 2 weeks? Like, girl, bye, Carmen, bye. So anyway, then Carmen is saying that, so Chill Bill's like, well, you seem kind of like dominant with your man. And she's like, well, yeah, I'm very competitive. But I'm very submissive with Paul. That's the most time when I'm submissive. And I'm like, Carmen, you are playing a game. You are doing what you got to get to win the prize. Is your heart really in it, girl? I don't know, Carmen. I don't know. At least with Takia, she's trying to be open to love and find love. She's active. The one thing I gonna say about Takia, even though I feel like, okay, now she's trying to just connect with somebody, at least I do get a genuine feeling like she's active and looking for love, where Carmen feels like she's playing the game to win and beat all the girls out. That's what I get from Carmen. She wants all the guys to like her. But if you really need to be coming for Sabrina, because that's who all the men like, okay? But anyway, we're going to get to her too, okay? So then the ladies leave. And Takia does say on the date that her and Paul haven't really had a date yet. So she's looking forward to that. And Carmen's like, oh, you haven't had a date yet? And Carmen's like, I don't know if, Takia's the one he wants. Like, being shady to her again. The ladies leave. Chill Bill says, I can see you with both of them. He sees the dilemma he's having with the two beautiful ladies. And he says, Carmen, he more sees with POJ. And Takia, he more sees with Paul. And it's like, what do you want? Paul says Takia is very solid. And he'll see me twist and turns and bends with her. I'm assuming he meant that in a good way. And he says Carmen can be very superficial. So we'll see which way Paul goes with it. I can see Paul with Carmen. I can also see Carmen running all over Paul a little bit too. But I don't know. Anyway, moving on to the next date. I believe we have Tory with his friend Ash. Was his real name Ashley? Let me know in the comments, y'all. Was his real name Ashley? Because he was like, I say Ash to sound more masculine. And then Sabrina said, I say Brina to sound more masculine. So she made a little joke. That was cute. Oh, speaking of Sabrina, she came in there with a gift for Tori, a candle. And she made it a point to say, yeah, I took all this time sniffing different scents. So I hope you like it. And Tori accepted it and he received it and he liked it. And she was like, yeah, you always buying me gifts. So I wanted to bring you something. I was like, I peep game, Sabrina. I peep game. Okay, she did a little move there, but Tory caught it. He was like, yeah, woman wouldn't buy her a gift for nothing, buy him a gift for for no reason, like she's not gonna waste her time like that. But he also feels like Sabrina is interested in other people, but she keeps doing things to keep Tory interested and reeled in. And so I think that's very hard for Tory, but Tory, we warned you. We warned you in the beginning, Tori, and this is the situation you're in now. So anyway, so she buys the candle for him. I definitely see that Sabrina likes having her options. Sabrina likes having her cake and eating it too. Sabrina kind of the player of the show, in my opinion. Like, Carmen need to really get on Sabrina level, because Sabrina's the one with the game, in my opinion, y'all. But y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. Who got the game on Ready to Love Season 5 Potomac this season? So anyway, Ace was also supposed to be on this date with Tori and Ash. And Ace did not show up. So Tori's trying to get her on the line. And Sabrina's like, oh, this is awkward. Like, I never had a man call somebody else on a date with me. But it's like, girl, that's what he's supposed to do. Ace is supposed to be there to film, be on the date. Like, don't make it like it's that big of a deal, girl. Bye. And Sabrina, like, he got to have other connections too. You the one getting mad when he getting mad at you. Like, girl, bye. So anyway, Tori called Ace. Ace did not answer. She did not show up. So Ash was like, well, you went more for you than Sabrina. And so he was asking her, is she really ready? She's got a relationship. Sabrina said she just got a relationship. I'm assuming she met her marriage a year and a half ago, not a full-fledged relationship. Still a year and a half is not that short as they were trying to make it, in my opinion. Her marriage was 7 years. I don't think a year and a half was that short in that respect, but that's just my opinion. Whether there was a marriage or relationship, it wasn't that short in my opinion. So anyway, she did let it be known that she's ready, but she wants to take it slow. So she didn't want to be forced to say Tory's my number one and I want to, move forward with him. So I noticed she placed her words very carefully to say she wanted to take the process slow. Tory, when he was asked this question by Ash, do you see this going somewhere or what's the situation? He said, he's very decisive. He can't expect for everyone else to be decisive, and it's about them working it out. It's not going to work out with Tori and Sabrina. It's not. I'm sorry, Tori. It's not. And you should really try to make better connections with Ace or somebody else, because it's not going to be. Sabrina is not going to pick Tori in the end. I can tell you that right now. Okay, everybody can see it. Stevie Wonder can see it. Just like he said he saw Will Smith slap Chris Rock, Stevie Wonder could see that Tori not gonna end up with Sabrina. Okay, it is what it is. So anyway, Ash said that Sabrina and Tori look good together, and that's kind of weird that the girl didn't show up. So then moving on, we see a date with let's go on to Clifton. I believe was next. We might skip around. I can't remember if Donovan was next or Clifton, so we're just going to go on to Clifton, y'all. So we see Clifton has his friend Kenny, I believe. Kenny came, and then Joy came, and Dakia came. And so Joy was like, oh, Dakia's here. And Dakia's like, oh, Joy's here. And, they're like, we never get to mingle with just, they never had a date where they both were there with Clifton. So those paths are never crossed. So that was very interesting. Joy seemed to be a tad bit like, I'll put it nervous, but not too much. Like, she held her cards really well. She held it down. She didn't really act jealous or moved by Dakia too much at all. But I think it definitely put her on notice a little bit about Clifton's feelings for her. But, and Clifton did say, Joy has been his strongest connection from day one. But he also has been, connecting with Dakia. And he's trying to keep his options open. I'm curious to know if Clifton truly likes Dakia, or did he just make another connection with Dakia so he doesn't look like he's putting his eggs in all the Joy basket. How on this show, y'all, you gotta keep that fine line of really connecting with somebody but keeping yourself open to everybody else at the same time. So I'm wondering, does he genuinely feel torn between Joy and Dakia, or did he make that connection with Dakia just to have somebody else on the side so he looked like he making other connections to stay on the show? Y'all never really know what y'all think about that in the comments. So, they made some kind of joke about the seashell or something Dakia brought and saying they look like a vagina. And then, something about some olives on the table. Dakia was like, oh, you made me eat, something I didn't like, so I'm gonna make you eat this olive that you don't like. So she run around the table, put the olive in Clifton's mouth. I feel like she was being a little showboaty, but, she gotta play the game. Go on, Dakia, girl. I ain't mad at you. Joy was like, feed him, shoot, he hungry, girl. So, I'm like, I don't think Joy is fazed by that connection at all. That's another reason why I think Clifton is kind of just playing the game. So anyway, and then maybe Joy's just not a jealous woman as well. And so then Kenny asked them, what is it about Clifton? And Joy said, we can't not notice him. Clifton is a big man. And so she was like, but she likes that he was himself from day one. He hasn't changed. His intentions have always been good and all that. And Dakia says she likes that he has a good balance of fun and serious. He can have a good intellectual conversation with you. He can also be funny. And Kenny was like, yeah, people like the good and the bad when it comes to Clifton and all this stuff. So they left, the ladies left, and then Clifton's friend, Kenny, asked, which one are you feeling the most? And so, Clifton's explaining why he likes both the ladies. And Kenny did say Joy would be a better fit because she has that same kind of personality as Clifton, and Dakia does not. She's a little more serious. So I'm glad Kenny solved that. Okay, don't do us this little, I don't like this Dakia, Clifton, Joy, love triangle anyway. I feel like they a little too old for that. Like, no. But we'll see how it goes in the end, y'all. I'm still rooting for Clifton and Joy. I'm still rooting for the Clifton and Joy relationship. I have not given hope on that. Okay. So anyway, so Clifton is like, yeah, I can't deny my connection with the Kia, but you know, me and Joy have been day one, so, and she does match my personality a lot better. So, and he wants a woman that matches his personality, so that's what it is. So anyway, then we move on to the date with, let's go to Demetrius before we go to Donovan. So Demetrius brings his friend with the braids. I don't remember his name, so he will be known as the friend with the braids. Okay, so he brings his friend with the braids with the tight suit on. Demetrius got his tight suit on, his plaid pants on. Then here comes Sabrina with her shirt and her plaid pants on. Okay, Demetrius down there matching in the plaid pants. So she comes and she talks to Demetrius' friend, and he asked her about her other connections. I mean, he went in on Sabrina right away. I feel like he does not trust Sabrina. I got that vibe from him. And he was like, you know, you got other connections here. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely got other connections, but Demetrius has always been in my top. See, she claimed Demetrius in her top. Notice she didn't claim Tori in her top. She kind of, you know, pussyfooted around with the Tory, when Tori was Tori's friend. But Demetrius, she's like, he's been in my top. He's always been in my top. It is what it is. Demetrius said, yes, she's in my top as well. She's always been in my top. It is what it is. I hope to God she don't pick Demetrius though. But anyway, so then he's letting her know, like, you know, Demetrius. So she's like, Sabrina asked friend with the braids, what kind of woman does Demetrius like? What does he like in his women, relationships? Friend with the braids says he likes a submissive women. Sabrina said, hold up, hold tight, like Mariah Carey. And she was like, submissive. And I'm like, Sabrina, girl, Sabrina. I been told you Demetrius is not the one. I been told y'all I never felt it, never saw it for Demetrius. Everybody fell in love with him in that plum suit. No. I been warned you, Sabrina, that was not the one you wanted. You just liked how nice and put together he was, but he was not the one for you, girl. No. Not saying Tori is either, but no. Maybe Donovan, we shall see. Okay, but no. So she's like, no, I don't know about that submissive word. And she, you know, she likes to know what's going on. She doesn't want to follow. She wants to be a leader. She's a strong personality. Also, I think she just wants to be equal, which is understandable, right? So Demetrius said in his confessional that most women, he said most women of, I forgot the word he used, but he was like most women, different women can't handle the word submissive. They don't want to hear that word. He meant black women, but he didn't want to say it. But he meant black women, okay? That's what he meant. So we shall see how that's going to play out, right? So then moving on, let's get on to Donovan, y'all. So Donovan brings on his friend Phil from the last season, which was the DC season. I guess we calling it season 4 since they want Potomac to be season 5, right? So Phil comes. At first I was like, "Does Donovan and Phil really friends?" But they said they've been friends for 12 years, and Phil spoke really highly of Donovan, so I do believe the friendship. And Donovan was like, yeah, he found him someone on here in Sydney. I'm like, are they even still together? Well, I guess. So anyway, Phil came on here. He's looking good. Donovan was looking good. And so on that date, they had Sabrina and Tina, okay? Notice he didn't bring Carmen on the date, okay? So I don't know if Donovan is really feeling Carmen or not, to be honest. So Tina looked a little out of it in her face to me, like she was not really trying to be there. She wasn't cute and that white, and Sabrina was there. So Phil went in right away making a joke saying, you know, so how many connections you got, and asking Tina and asking Sabrina. But he's making jokes. He's like, I've been through the process before, so I already know what's up. And Donovan's telling them, like, oh, yeah, he was on the last season. He went through this process. He found someone. And they're like, oh, really? I'm like, y'all seen him on the last season. I hate when they act like they didn't watch the show. Like, come on. Y'all seen Phil, okay? Speaking of Phil, what's going on with the Shiloh situation? Phil, you could have told us that in this episode. What's happening with Shiloh? But anyway, that's not what it was about. So, Phil was saying, he's been through with Donovan through the hard times, the good times, the bad times, the low times, the high times, okay? Which worries Sabrina, because Sabrina feels like, okay, what has he been through? What's really happened? Everyone's been through things, Sabrina, so I think she needs to relax a little bit on that one. But anywho, so Tina was saying that, what she likes about Donovan and all the things they connect on, and then eventually the ladies left. I mean, the conversation wasn't all that in this scene, but basically Donovan is worried about Tina because he has a 2-year-old, he already has kids, he's wondering where does his life fit into Tina's life, which I could see that being a thing. And then Sabrina wants kids, Donovan already has kids, but Donovan would have kids with his new wife if she wanted it, he said. Phil was like, the decision's up to you. I can't tell you what to do. I think he leaned more towards Sabrina, if I'm not mistaken. But that's he also gave Donovan great advice about it's time to be selfish. And Donovan's like, he's right. It's time for me to be selfish. Time for me to start cutting people out, like weeding it down, basically. Because, Donovan is newer to the show. He still was good dating and get to know everybody. So now it's time for him to start narrowing down his connections, basically. So then, let's see. Did we get all the homies? I believe we went through everybody's date, right? Yes. So then at the end, we see Paul and Dakia go on a date because they have not went on a date yet. Dakia says she wants to get to know Paul more. She's getting to dating him late in the game, but she's still very intrigued by him. And she asked Paul, what does he want? What does he need? And he explained that he wants someone, to love and marry and all this stuff. But he needs someone who's like 5'3". The kid's like, oh, I'm 5'3". And he's like, yeah, I don't want a woman with long legs in the bed. And she's snatching the covers with one leg. I'm like, Paul, really? Really? Anyway, so Paul don't want no woman that's almost tall as him. He ain't here for y'all tall ladies, okay? And we ain't here for you either, Paul. So, but the kid is, because she's short. So anyway, I wonder how tall is Carmen. But anyway, that don't matter, right? So they're having a date, they're talking, and Paul told one of his corny jokes. He said he wants someone to laugh at his corny jokes. I think he said, what did one coffin say to the other coffin? Or is that you coughing? It was really corny and stupid, but if the kid laughed, that's all that matters, right? So then she was asking Paul, what is something, you've been making connections with people. What is something, somebody doesn't know about you already? And he did say that he likes to paint. He's really into art and he's really into his painting. I think the kid can bring out something in Paul, and she has a good way of communicating and understanding him that some of the other ladies didn't have that were younger, like Precious. Although Tiffany, I think, was close to his age, but Tiffany had her eyes set for Wiley, okay? But, and Precious did like Paul. Let me take that back. Precious and Tina did like Paul, so I don't know. I think Dakia is a good person to be able to handle Paul's energy and his personality. I do see that. And she was intrigued by his painting, and it's good to see this other side of Paul and not such a, what's the word, like, just based on facts and numbers kind of guy. It's good to see this other interesting side of Paul. So, we hate us some Paul. We love us some Paul, too. But I am also surprised he made it on the show this long. So anyway, they had a little date, right? So then let's go on to the men's deliberations. So we get to the men's deliberation. Oh, before I get there, I almost skipped a major part of the show, y'all. Tori and Ace. So Tori and Ace have a date because Tori want to know what's up. Why Ace didn't come to his group date, right? So Ace come in there smiling like she always do. And he's like, oh, I thought that smile was for me. And they cheers to positivity. She says she likes to keep a smile on her face to just keep herself positive. And I really, really like what Ace said about that. And that's something I try to work on, which is really hard. But I really aspire to be like that. So Ace definitely inspired me in that way in that episode. So he asked her, I had this group date with my friend Ash, and you didn't show up, and I didn't know what was going on. And so she let him know, like, I'm sorry if I didn't communicate it to you effectively. It had nothing to do with you. It was about me. She said that she sees the way that Tory looks at Sabrina and the way he the love or whatever he has for her. and cherishes her, she could see that he is genuine about the way he feels about Sabrina, and she feels like that's the way a man should look and care for a woman, and anything less than that you don't want. So basically Ace felt like, okay, Tori is not giving me all that same energy that he is giving Sabrina. So she felt like, it was more not as strong of a connection, more of a friendship, which I totally commend and understand what Ace is saying on that. No more taking bits and pieces, okay? No more. So she also felt like she made a stronger romantic connection with Lavern, and Lavern left the show. So for her, it would be like, what's the point of trying to basically fake it or make connections with other people when the person she made the strongest connection with has left the show? She wants to leave the show, collaborate, walk away, and kind of just do her, figure out herself. She didn't necessarily say that she wanted to go reconnect with Lavern. Maybe she does, though. Maybe she didn't want to give too much up. I wonder, did she leave because Lavern left? But I also think it was, Ace is not going to be like a Dakia, or she's going to put so much effort and force it. I think she's mostly more on energy. And so I think she wasn't going to stay in the game to try to quickly make a connection with somebody else. Like, to her, that's not worth it, and that's not the point. And I totally respect that. Totally respect that. And I like the way she articulated everything she said to Tory. And Tory's like, I still got love for you, always going to be there for you. And he said his confessional that as bad as he wanted her to stay and not walk away, he couldn't ask her to stay. I wanted him to fight for her a little bit more and show he was connected with her. But he did say, maybe it's my fault because I was so tunnel vision. And it is your fault, Tori. You were way too tunnel vision. That's why I say Clifton maybe just playing the game, because at first he was tunnel vision on Joy, but then he kind of started making a connection with the Kia. You can't be tunnel vision on this show. You really cannot be tunnel vision on this show. You gotta try to connect with that one person, but you also gotta leave yourself open to other possibilities at the same time. It's hard though. I imagine that show is hard. I don't know if I can do it, y'all. Sometimes I feel like I could do it, but I don't know. We see Tina about to give up though, but we gonna get to her. So anyway, let's go on back down to the male deliberations. So Tommy come in. Paul said he got his shirt creased up nicely. He got it together. Tommy ain't got to tell him nothing. So Tommy asked him about all the dates. Tori explains that Ace didn't come, and he's like, what, how'd you feel about that? He's like, I was like, what the hell? And Ash was like that too. Tommy's like, I'm like, what the hell also? And so Tori lets nephew Tommy know that Ace decided to leave the show. Nephew Tommy's like, when this happens, can y'all please let me know? Because Tommy said he didn't have no idea. I don't believe that. There's no way that Ace filmed a scene that production had to coordinate and put together, and Tommy didn't know that girl left the show. There's no way. Y'all ain't gotta fool me, okay? No. There's no way. So anyway, Paul lets Tommy know about his date with Carmen and Dakia, and Tina didn't show up, and he's talking about Paul versus POJ, and nephew Tommy said, I never met POJ, I only met Paul. And so, he's like, one is good for POJ, one is good for Paul. And nephew Tommy says, maybe you need someone who can handle both Paul and POJ, which is a good point. You want someone that can handle all your sides, your good and your bad, right? So anyway, he talks to Demetrius. Demetrius talk about, he wants someone submissive and how that kind of alarms Sabrina, and that could be a thing. Donovan talked about his date with Sabrina and Tina, and talked about Phil. Tommy was like, oh, Phil said he's still together. Tommy, if they together or not. Don't play. He playing again. So anyway, Donovan says that, Phil was feeling Sabrina more. Every time somebody mentions Sabrina, they pan to Tori's face. Production, y'all, is so messy on this show. Y'all so messy. Tori was looking like hurt. He was looking hurt as usual, because he tunnel vision on Sabrina. Anyway, then it came over to Clifton. He was like, how'd you handle having two women? Clifton was like, he was fine. He enjoyed having them two women right there. Okay, so he had no problem having Joy and Takia there. I don't think he felt any type of way about it or nervous because of Joy or anything like that. He did handle it well. And he said he can't deny his connection with Takia, but he definitely thinks, his personality matches better with Joy. So we should see how that happens. So then Nephew Tommy says, okay, we got to figure out who's going to be in the bottom. Carmen's name gets tossed around. Tori said he hasn't had a one-on-one with her. He doesn't really know her. Then Donovan kind of sticks up for Carmen, which is weird to me because you didn't bring her on your date with Phil and Sabrina and Tina. And he was like, Carmen is, is what you get, and I don't want her to change. I'm like, well, you didn't bring her on the date to meet Phil, though, did you? Demetrius, I think, mentioned Takia and Paul. Clifton mentioned Tina, but Tina hasn't had enough time on the show, but is it too late? And I think somebody also mentioned Sabrina's name, and it becomes a whole thing. The men are really piping up. Somebody said Takia, and Paul is like, well, that's one, I'm just getting to know her, and I still want more time to get to know her. And somebody said they wanted a chance to get to know Carmen, I think. So I'm like, y'all, how many episodes y'all think we're going to give y'all? First of all, is this episode 8? Y'all running out of time to get to know people. Like, this is the time to start cutting it down. So this has been the longest drawn out, like, making connection season, in my opinion. But, I mean, maybe it's a little more genuine this way. I don't know. But so the men are all piping up, trying to fight for who they connected for. They're not really trying to eliminate anybody. It really seems like, I think Joy's name got thrown in the bottom as well. I think they named all the ladies for somebody named all the ladies for different reasons. Okay, basically is what happened. I think they named every single lady. So anywho, Nephew Tommy's like, well, this is the most I didn't heard from y'all. This is the most they didn't piped up, right? So he's like, tell you what, I feel like we need more time. Y'all need more time to make the decision. So they said they wanted more time, right? So then Nephew Tommy says, tell you what, gonna give y'all some more time. We're gonna wait till next week. But I got another curveball for you. You're gonna go on a getaway resort with these ladies. You're gonna take these ladies on the trip, pack your bags, iron and crease all your pajamas. Call the ladies, tell them we're going on a trip. 2 nights in the house. It's gonna be steamy. How do you do? Staying overnight with the ladies. We're just gonna really, see how everything goes. So the Nephew Tommy leaves, and they're all like, yeah, let the best men win. And Clifton's like, yeah, if you shoot your shot, you better Larry Bird it. And so the men is really competing this season. They are competing. This is the hardest I've seen the men really compete, which I really love this. I love it. Men competing for women, not women fighting and competing for men, okay? So we do see the previews in the house. Y'all know when we get down to the resort, that's when we get a good episode. It get real messy. So I'm looking forward to the new episode, which is going to be, episode 9, right? We seen the previews that Tina didn't come. Donovan trying to get her on the line, figure out if she going to make it or not. Tina did say in her confessionals it's really hard trying to date multiple people at one time. So I did see something about her saying the experience of Ready Love was toxic as well. So I think that she is over the show. Okay, but we'll see if she shows up or not. I feel like she's not going to, though. Takia went to Clifton's room and saw 2 bags on the bed. She was really upset about that. We're going to see how that play out. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I think Joy was ready to let her know, as she said in this episode. Maybe now Takia will see how strong of a connection that me and Clifton have. I think she was trying to tell her in a nice way without telling her, without being a Carmen about it. Like, girl, you need to move on, okay? So I'm assuming Joy put her bag on Clifton's bed. I'm assuming Clifton knew that. I'm not assuming that she did try to just mark her territory on him, because he didn't look upset about it in the previews, but we shall see. Let me know what y'all think gonna happen down to the resort house next week. It's gonna look good. It looks steamy. Takia talking about she was hurt by that. Girl, how you gonna be hurt? But anyway, we gonna see what they really talking about, y'all. I don't want to speculate too much on the next episode. We just want to watch it, right? Please comment, share, like, subscribe. Thank y'all for continually rocking with me, supporting me. And I will see y'all soon. Bye.